Hey everybody, it's the Omad Dad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel that is dedicated to living the Omad lifestyle or eating just one meal a day. I'm back with another installment of viewer questions, and this episode is jam-packed with them. I've got quite a few. You guys have really been proactive and really have been sending me some great comments and some really great questions over the past couple weeks. And so I've picked a bunch of them out here to kind of go over. These have a good range of different parts of OMAD. So, by me doing this, I feel like, we get a different perspective, and sometimes people ask questions about things that I either haven't covered yet or maybe they need a little bit more explanation. So I'm always glad to do that. I have people that write me regularly and ask me questions or almost kind of have me as a little bit of a consultant. I will say there isn't anything that I'm holding back. When I have this channel, whatever I know is coming out to you. It's not, it's not like I'm telling you just a little bit or just enough so that, you'll buy my book or you'll buy my course or whatever, because there is no book, there is no course. It's just me here on this channel telling you about OMAD, intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating, whatever you want to call it, and how it's worked for me and how it can work for you. So the first question today comes from, I believe the name is Cyriline, and if I'm saying this wrong, I do apologize. And the question is, do I have to do keto, low carb, or no carb to be successful on OMAD? The answer to that is no, absolutely not. You can be successful on OMAD eating whatever you like. There are some caveats, of course. You don't want to have just plain old junk food, although, I have heard of people somewhere on the internet having an all Twinkie diet and probably losing weight. A lot of that I think is BS, but there are many, many of us here, myself included, that can construct meals that are very diverse and are not low carb or keto or no carb. I experimented once. I went the better part of a week doing a carnivore OMAD. I will say it was pretty expensive, and toward the end of the week, I don't know if it was because I was coming down with a cold or something or what, but just from eating all of that meat, strict meat, I didn't notice much of a change in the scale. It wasn't worth it. It was very expensive, and I actually threw up at one point. So again, those little trials and little things that you do and little experiments will let you know what works and what doesn't work. A lot of people go keto and low carb and they love it and it works well for them and they never look back. That's great. You could do an OMAD that is keto or low carb or no carb, but you don't have to. There are even people within the OMAD community. There's another great YouTube channel. Her name is Mela Nicole. You go ahead and look her up. She is OMAD, and she's a vegan, and she's a very high carb vegan diet, and she does OMAD, and she's thin, she's healthy, she looks amazing. She looks 10, 15 years younger than what she actually is. But she is also proof that you don't have to do very low carb in order for it to work. Again, some people choose to go low carb or be mindful of their carbs. One thing I would suggest being is whether you're going to be more mindful of your carbs or not, I would say it's probably more important to be more mindful of sugar and just straight out junk food. This is food that is just really not good for your health overall. It tends to make your OMAD, a little bit more difficult in the sense that they give you these crazy, sugar, and the junk food gives you these crazy insulin spikes. It tends to, make you feel a little groggy afterwards. So, having said that, with Thanksgiving coming up, I'm going to have a slice of apple pie because that is Thanksgiving for me. That's going to be part of my OMAD. Am I going to have the whole pie? No, I'm not even going to have half the pie. I'm going to have a slice of pie. Be smart about it. So you can have your sweets, you can have your treats. You don't have to go low carb. You don't have to completely overhaul how you eat to make OMAD work. Get into the habit of OMAD. It will work. You need to give it a little bit of time, and I'm telling you, you're going to love it. Peter had a couple of questions that I thought were really good when Peter wrote me. His first question was, if I'm looking to lose 80 pounds, how do I figure out the daily caloric value of my OMAD meal? Well, First, what you should be doing is establishing the baseline habit. Don't worry necessarily about how many calories you're eating. Just take a couple of weeks if you have to, and get used to just eating once a day, one composed meal. You're sitting down, you're eating the meal. You're not really worried about calories, but you're just eating that. Maybe you're having one caloric beverage. Maybe that's what you've decided. I wouldn't go any more than that, because otherwise you're just piling on calories. But you have that, and then that's it. Get used to getting into that habit. Get used to not snacking throughout the day, not drinking calories, drinking water, black tea, black coffee, but get used to that first. And then you could always kind of tweak it and refine it. After you're used to eating OMAD, after you're okay with that, generally what I would go by is whatever weight I want to be at, what I will do is I'll go on and Google how many calories it takes to maintain that weight. Now, if I've got a lot of weight to lose, then let's say I have, my maintenance calories right now, let's say they're 3,000, and for the weight I want to be at, my maintenance calories to maintain that weight would be 1,500. You could have a 1,500 calorie meal, but if you're used to having 3,000 to 4,000 calories every single day or more, cutting it down that low is probably going to be too drastic for you. I just realized I kind of parked in the sun. I hope this is okay and it's not kind of freaking you guys out here. Sorry to change the subject, but getting back to what I was saying is this is what a problem a lot of people have when they're dieting. They're used to eating 3,000 calories a day, and then now it's okay, I'm going to eat 3 small 500 calorie meals every single day, and they're starving. Because it's just too drastic. You can't go that far. So what I recommend doing is saying, okay, well, instead of 3,000 calories, okay, then I'll shoot for like maybe 2,000 calories, and then you'll lose weight initially for that, and of course it'll slow down a little bit because you still have more to go. Then from 2,000 to 1,500, it's a lot more manageable, as opposed to taking this huge, massive cut in half of calories. Again, the most important thing, though, is establishing your time, establishing the habit of just having your one meal, sitting down, eating, being done with it, walking away, and not snacking throughout the day. You have to get into that habit first. Then what I was talking about with the finding what calories it would take to maintain your goal weight, that would be your guide. If you have a lot of weight to lose, you could just jump right into it. But like I say, I think it's easier if you go, say, as an example, from 3,000 calories a day down to around a 2,000 calorie meal, which you're going to find is a large meal. It's definitely going to fill you up. But the other part of this too is that you don't want to have to necessarily get too hung up on, am I having enough calories or am I not having enough calories? You're going to be satiated. That's what you want. You want to be satiated. I have days, where I have a larger meal, and then the next day or two, I'm not as full, or I'm not as hungry, and so I have less. Good example of that is last night we went out. My wife and I went out to Chili's, and a couple of days prior to that, I'd been eating kind of light at home, and we were doing a lot of shopping. So last night we went out to Chili's. I had a little bit of tortilla chips and salsa. I had the bacon burger with fries and a side of black beans, and it was a large meal. It was almost 2,000 calories for what I ate at dinner last night. Okay, so today I am not hungry by any stretch of the means, and my meal tonight could end up being 900 or 1,000 calories. It's all going to equal out. It's all going to average out. You want to watch for some long habits, though. You wouldn't want to eat 3,000 calories at a meal every single day. Obviously, you know that would happen if that happens. But, again, you're going to eat until you're satiated. Take your time. You're going to feel full, and then you're going to walk away. That is what's important. And then Peter had another question: is how important is the idea that you can't have your OMAD on a main dish with several side dishes, i.e., like the side dishes would be for a salad or dessert? In truth, it's not all that important. I know I did a video that was called the OPAD variation, where it was one plate a day. I know there's other OMAD channels, specifically OMAD Revolution, where he talks about having just one plate of food every day. That your OMAD, all of whatever you're eating for the day for your OMAD, put it on one plate, and that's it. That is really, really great when you're in your loss phase, when you're really trying to cut and to lose some weight. But as long as you're responsible enough, you could still be in that cutting phase, not go overboard, be lower on your calories, and still have multiple plates of food. One of the main reasons for doing this is, one, if I'm going to have a dessert with my meal, I don't want it commingling with, say, my beef stew. Sometimes, even if I'm having a salad, I don't want a salad, and let's say I'm having a salad and I'm having pasta with sauce. I don't want my sauce that's hot getting onto my salad, which is not hot, and wilting the lettuce. It's a texture thing, and overall, I just don't like the way some certain foods combine. If I was going to have it all on one plate, it would just, certain things would just make a mess. Like, for example, if I'm having, even if I'm having a juicy steak and I have some potatoes, maybe for dessert, I was having some nuts and a banana or whatever, I don't want all of that necessarily commingling on the plate. So it's okay if you have multiple plates. Just be mindful of how much you're actually eating. Be mindful of how many plates you have and how big your meal is getting. But again, if you're only having one meal a day, then you can plan this out ahead of time. You can kind of go look through your pantry or look at the restaurant that you're going to and decide, okay, well, this has this many calories. You can look it up and do a little bit of pre-planning before you actually sit down and eat and make the meal. But as far as everything having to be on one plate, it's not that important. Again, what's more important is establishing the foundation of eating once a day, and then getting up and not eating until the next day. Jim writes me, what motivated you to become a faster? Well, that is a very good question, Jim. I started the whole experimenting with fasting when I downloaded this ebook years ago called Eat, Stop, Eat by Brad Pilon. I don't know if it's even still around anymore. But Brad Pilon was an exercise enthusiast that recommended doing up to 2 24-hour fasts a week, and then during the rest of the week, eating kind of a sensible, more low-carb type of meal plan. At the time, I was on the Atkins diet, and so I tried the 2 24-hour fasts each week. You would never do them back-to-back, and he never didn't recommend that. And the way he would plan it was, you would stop eating at, let's say, Monday night at 6 o'clock, and then you wouldn't eat again until Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. Excuse me. So technically that's been 24 hours, but you're not going more than one day entirely without eating. And I liked it. It worked really well for me. And the combination of that and going with Atkins, I was losing weight quite quickly. And I really got used to fasting, and it was really eye-opening because I didn't realize at the time how used to being in the restaurants, just walking around and just randomly picking up things and snacking on them or tasting them. And I didn't realize how often I did that until I started experimenting with this kind of fasting. But the thing with Brad Pilon's program was it gave the sort of impression that you couldn't do that every single day. You couldn't just eat once a day or fast for that much any more than that per week, because it would be too dangerous, or it wouldn't be beneficial for you. And later I came to find out that simply was just false information. A lot of you guys on YouTube that watch Omad know of the channel Omad Revolution. If you don't, you really got to go and check him out. His name is Joe, and he has lost a lot of weight. He went from almost 400 pounds down to about 180 pounds, I believe. I think he's hovering around at 190, 195 right now. But he was the one that introduced me to the idea of you could actually eat that way every single day. You could just go and eat one good-sized meal every day and be done with it, and then lose weight, be healthy, and you wouldn't die. That was a big misconception that I think a lot of us had, is that if you skip a meal, it's been ingrained in us that if you skip a meal, you're going to just die, or you're going to shut your body processes down, and that's just not the case. He had a lot of great success on this way of life. He's been doing this for quite a few years now, and he has a really great channel. And so I decided to give it a chance. And I could tell you, for the first time in my life, I feel like I had found a way of eating, a dieting and health regime that really worked for me. I'm a fast eater. I tend to not be satiated by the small 400 or 500 calorie meals, throughout the day. I don't have time to make 5 or 6 meals a day. So the idea that I could sit down and eat a 12 to 1500 calorie meal whenever I chose, get full, feel satiated, have it consist of whatever I wanted, and then walk away and be done, it fit into my lifestyle so well that now, after a couple of years of doing this, I can't see myself going back or ever doing that the way it was. When I have days that I eat, maybe an extended window, or maybe even have 2 small meals now. I just feel like garbage. Which is why I really don't splurge all that much anymore, because I simply just don't like it, and I don't feel the need. I have to. But the combination of those programs are the ones that really got me into this. And once I got into it and I started it, and I started to see results and how quickly and how easy it was for this weight to come off without me killing myself in the gym, it was unreal. And that was what kept me motivated, kept me going in this. And I heard that from a lot of people, not just on this channel, but on other channels and on social media who try Omad. They like the idea that it's just, especially in today's busy society, in today where food is around us 24/7, to be able to take that break, to just not eat, to go about your business, to go about your day, be efficient, and then sit down, eat once, be full, eat what you like, and then be done with it. It's really one of the most amazing systems, and it really makes you question just hundreds, if not thousands of years of tradition of eating multiple meals, of all of the science jargon of the day that they've been shoving down our throats for centuries and decades about, oh, you need to eat all the time, and you don't want to miss a meal, and breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and all of this junk that is just simply not true. And this is what motivated me to become a faster. That, and the fact that I was pushing 40. I'm now 40 years old, but I have 2 young children at home, and I want to be able to live to see my great grandkids. I want to be able to play with them and beat them at a game of baseball or whatever we play. I want to be able to chase my kids around. I want to be able to walk around and not be winded. I want to. I had sleep apnea before I started going into Omad. I was diagnosed with that. I had asthma that was always bothering me. My joints hurt. My back hurt. I was always tired. I couldn't sleep well. These are all of that combined. Just it just created this perfect opportunity, this perfect moment for me to say, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to make a big change in my life. It was hard at first. It was difficult for my family to understand, but now it's like something that is a part of me, and they all understand, and they don't push me to say, you have to eat, or you have to do this, or you're not healthy. They see the change in me. They see that I've been doing this for a couple of years, that I am healthy, and they're starting to question their own beliefs about the same things that I just mentioned. So that is what motivated me, and what keeps me motivated as well is hearing how well you guys have been doing well with Omad out there, the success that you've had, the great experience that Omad has helped create in your life. And for me to be a part of that is very motivating, and it's a real honor. So I thank all of you. And for the last question of the day comes from Mason. It is, what's your current routine? Well, currently, I'm still on Omad. I'm eating my 1 meal every day. I do track my calories and my food on what I eat on an app called Lose It. It is a free app. They do have a premium version, but I probably will do a review on this on my channel pretty soon. But I eat my 1 meal. I have 1 caloric beverage every day, and that is it. As far as exercising goes, I was having a steady daily walking routine, but now I have signed myself up for a 10K race that is happening in my town in Massachusetts on St. Patrick's Day weekend. Usually the race is always on a Saturday, and then on Sunday they have the big St. Patrick's Day parade. This 10K, it's a pretty cool course. It goes right by my house. There is a really large hill there, so I'm kind of worried about that, but I've signed up for this 10K, which is longer than I've ever really run, so that's challenging for me, but not to the point where it's too damaging and would take too much of a commitment like doing a half or a full marathon. And this little race gets last year got over a little over 5,000 people to run in this race, and then it ends downtown, and there's this big party, and there's bands playing, and St. Patrick's Day weekend here in my area is just this huge celebration. So it's a little bit far out for me, and it's enough for me to train for this. So that I'm now running on the treadmill and training for this about 4 times a week, sometimes 5, sometimes 3, depends on my schedule. But That is my current routine. I'm just doing some jogging, some running on the treadmill, some different drills, and I'm eating my Omad, and that is it. That's all you really need to do. You don't have to even join a gym. You don't have to exercise or work out. You can be active. There's plenty of things to do around your house. Or you could go for a walk, play with your kids, grandkids, you name it. The possibilities are endless, but that is what my current routine is right now. And so I'll keep you guys posted as to how my training for the 10K goes and how well I do. I'm not looking to win this thing. I'm just looking to survive it. I'm looking to have fun with it, and join the 5,000 people that are going to be in this crazy race. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But that's my current routine. And that is it for today. That is all the questions that I have. Again, keep those awesome questions coming. You can either email me personally, you can leave a comment down below. Sometimes if the question is to the point where I could just give a few short sentences to answer it, then I will. But if it's also something that I feel that other people can benefit from with a much longer explanation, then it'll probably be included, with your permission, on one of these next viewer question videos. So keep the comments rolling in. I hope you guys are having a great day, a very great week. Very happy Omad, and be well.